And now to other stories. As part of efforts to enforce the abolition of the long-standing Monday sit-at-home order in Anambra State, Governor Chukwuma Soludo has directed the immediate closure of Onitsha main market for 1 week. The governor's directive came after his unscheduled physical visit to the market, where traders failed to open. The government emphasized that the measure aims to send a strong message against any lingering adherence to the sit-at-home order, which has previously crippled commerce across parts of the region. The Anambra State government also commenced implementation of the no work, no pay for school workers who are absent due to the Monday sit-at-home. The directive was the outcome of a meeting held by authorities of the State Ministry of Education with heads of departments in the ministry. In a circular from the Ministry of Education signed by the Permanent Secretary by this directive, any staff that fails to attend school or office on Monday will either receive 20% of his or her salary or forfeit it entirely. Right, joining me for Perspectives to this is a lawyer, John Okolia-Kirika. He joins me virtually. Good to have you join us, Mr. Kirika.
Thank you, my dear.
So this has been a long-standing conversation ongoing, not just in Anambra State, but in the Southeast. But recently, we've seen Governor Soludo trying to ensure that a sit-at-home order is abolished. What do you make of this recent strategy that he has now employed in trying to abolish the sit-at-home order?
Well, the truth is that, in accordance with the constitutional requirements, the security of lives and properties remain the primary function and duty of the government, but by virtue of Section 17, subsection 2, paragraph C of the same constitution, government action in that direction must be humane. So the main question is, what the governor did just some hours ago, was governor's action humane, to the Anambra? The obvious answer is no. People are closing their shops, people are not going to work, people are abstaining from certain functions because of the pervasive issue of insecurity. It is very obvious that security cannot be decreed. Security otherwise, the sense of security otherwise, inherits in man. So if somebody feels that he or she is not properly secured, that person will not go out. So I would think, with the greatest deference to His Excellency Professor Charles Soludo, that what he should have done is not to have been, unnecessarily aggressive while trying to abolish the sit-at-home issue in Anambra. He should have borrowed a leaf from what is playing out in sister states. He should have been a little bit subtle and tactical. Gradually, people are coming out. Gradually, people are opening shops. Gradually, certain offices are opening. So if you are a little bit patient, if you are a little bit diplomatic, in the course of time, maybe in the next 2, 3, or 4 months, those things would have gone away, and the number would have started living their normal life. If His Excellency had taken advantage of what happened from 2 years ago, when he attempted to decree that sit-at-home must end, there was an unfortunate, reaction, by our brothers on the other side. And what happened at the end of the day? We lost lives, we lost properties, and at the end of the day, the sit-at-home continued. So I was thinking,
Mr. Okolia-Kirika, if I may come in here, one of the reasons the governor is given for this abolishment is that, look, it is having an impact on commercial activities in the state.
I agree.
Hold on, just a minute, Mr. Okolia-Kirika. I also want to make this point. He believes that, look, if we do not enforce it now, it could become a lifelong situation that the state has to deal with. But how do you think, what's the best strategy, in your opinion, to deal with this?
The best strategy is to be subtle and diplomatic. Because what he's doing now, he did it some years ago. And there was some reaction from the other side. And we lost lives, we lost properties, and at the end of the day, he didn't achieve it. Okay, let us put it in perspective. Today, he went on the market and closed 1 week. So that one week would have equated to 7 sit-at-home days. So if not and engage in the Anambra, maybe we would have achieved a better result. So what I want to say is that in as much as we want the sit-at-home syndrome to abate, but we should be subtle, we should be diplomatic, we should be humane about it, because both seriousness and grandstanding is not the best approach to it.
What does being subtle, Mr. Okola Kirika, what does being subtle and diplomatic mean in this context? And is security still the reason why people stay at home on Mondays?
Yeah, part of it. Part of it. Let us be clear about it. Anambra State is the heartbeat of Southeast. That is not in dispute. And if you go to a neighboring state, a place like Abia, even in Anambra, you have some courts. You have some courts in Oka that is on Mondays. Abia is not courts. There are something about it. Lawyers go there, magistrates come. We don't have issues. But the time that the governor is trying to make it a big issue, in as much as I'm not craving for that, but you don't have to rule out the possibility of a reaction from the other side. That's the only thing I'm quarreling with. Let us be a little bit subtle. Let us be a little bit diplomatic. Let us be a little bit humane in our approach to this sit-at-home issue. Because in our sister states, they achieved the same result without necessarily resorting to the kind of actions our governor is not taking.
Thank you so much for your time. We are following developments in Anambra State. We will see how residents and traders react to this latest move by the governor. Lawyer John Okolia Kirika, pleasure having you join us.
Thank you, Megan.